Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into something pretty fascinating, Operation Sindoor, from back in May 2025. Our mission really is to unpack how India used some cutting-edge AI deception in aerial combat. We're focusing on a system called X-Guard. We've got some interesting material to draw from, like a report called X-Guard, India's AI deception in aerial combat. And look, this isn't your typical jets and missiles story. It's really about intelligence, trickery, and how the actual rules of air combat might be changing. So with that setup, what exactly is this X-Guard system? Can you break that down for us?
Right, so X-Guard, it's essentially an AI-powered towed decoy system. It was developed by Rafale Advanced Defense Systems. And it's quite clever, actually. It's a small device, only about 30 kilograms.
30 kilos, that's it.
That's it. And it trails behind the aircraft on a 100-meter fiber optic cable. Its main job, it uses AI to generate a pretty powerful 500-watt jamming signal, 360 degrees around it. But it's more than just jamming. The AI is designed to perfectly mimic the radar emissions and, crucially, the Doppler effect of a real Rafale fighter jet.
Okay, so it's not just noise, it's creating a convincing ghost.
Exactly, a phantom target. The whole point is to fool enemy sensors, make them waste resources on a decoy.
Wow. A 30-kilo mimic of a multi-ton fighter jet. That's quite something. Pure deception. But, the theory is one thing. How did X-Guard actually fare in combat? What happened during Operation Sindoor against adversary tech?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. During Operation Sindoor, X-Guard seems to have been remarkably effective against Pakistani forces. Their Chinese-made PL-15E air-to-air missiles. These are China's pretty advanced long-range missiles.
Right, the export version.
The export variant, yes. Those and their J-10C fighters reportedly just couldn't lock onto the actual Indian jets. The decoy successfully, spoofed them. They completely confused the enemy radar picture.
How? What was the weakness?
It seems the PL-15E, specifically the export version Pakistan had, might have lacked really sophisticated counter-spoofing measures. It was vulnerable. And maybe even more importantly, the X-Guard successfully tricked the J-10C's own advanced radar, the KLJ-7A AESA radar.
The AES? That's supposed to be top-tier stuff.
It is. Active Electronically Scanned Array. But the X-Guard apparently fooled it into thinking the decoys were the real Rafales. Locked on. Maybe even fired on them. So you see, the AI deception wasn't just about hiding. It was about actively misleading the enemy, making them think they were succeeding when they weren't, consuming their missiles, their tactical focus.
That's a huge strategic impact. I saw a quote from Ryan Bodenheimer, the former F-16 pilot. He called X-Guard, and I'm quoting here, the best spoofing and deception we've ever seen. Said it might have redefined the rules of electronic warfare. What does that mean for how we and how you listening should think about conflict now, especially verifying what's actually happening?
It makes verification incredibly difficult, and the outcome of this deception really highlights that. Pakistani forces apparently claimed they'd shot down 4 or 5 Indian fighter jets because they were counting the decoys they hit as actual Rafales.
They claimed kills based on hitting decoys.
Allegedly, yes. Yeah. And when pushed for proof, their defense minister reportedly just said, it's all over the social media.
Wow.
Which just shows you the challenge, right? In that fog of war.
Yeah.
Especially with this kind of advanced AI deception muddying the waters. And we should also mention, it wasn't just X-Guard. Reports suggest Indian decoy drones were also used, specifically to mimic heat signatures, adding another layer of confusion for Pakistani air defenses.
It really paints a picture of deception layered on deception, amplifying that fog of war with technology. So for you listening, the takeaway here isn't just about jets dodging missiles. It's about outsmarting the enemy through incredibly sophisticated technological tricks, really blurring what's real and what isn't on the battlefield.
Absolutely. This whole X-Guard situation, it's a powerful example of how AI isn't just, tweaking military tech. It's fundamentally shifting the nature of aerial combat itself. Information, perception, these are becoming just as critical as firepower, maybe more so in some situations. It's a real paradigm shift.
It really is. Which leads to a crucial question, I think. In an age where technology can create such convincing illusions, how vital does the ability to verify claims, to sift through the deception and find ground truth become? Is that the ultimate strategic high ground now? What really stands out to you about this emerging era of electronic warfare and AI-driven deception? Something to think about.